Hey there. Today we're going to talk about contrast and its role in visual processing and when you look out into the world, how to enhance contrast. Because there are some misleading assumptions out there that a color can enhance contrast, which is not technically true. So we'll go with some of the nuance and hopefully help deepen your understanding of the role of colored lenses in helping your vision. Have you ever gone outside from a dark room into a bright, bright day and feel just like the sun almost punched you in the face? That pain is debilitating. And today we're going to talk about managing light sensitivity in the context of low vision, aging, all of those things. Light sensitivity is basically the pain of just your iris making this accelerated constriction. So your iris is the color part of your eye, and when you go from a dark place into a light place that's significantly different, your eye closes up real quick, and that is a painful experience. And a lot of times, if you have low vision, if you have a different kind of visual conditions, that pain can be magnified, and it can be magnified under lesser circumstances. So while a younger person may not have that much of a problem transitioning from light to dark or dark to light, you may have a substantial problem when you do that. Now, what's tempting with light sensitivity, because it is pain, is it's a natural thing as humans for us to say, hey, what can we do to make the pain go away? So you put on sunglasses as you're going outside, and that would, as you go outside, it slows the constriction of the iris. So now it's less painful than it otherwise would be if you went out without sunglasses. One of the things to be aware of is physiologically what's happening to you when you address the light sensitivity is you are reducing the input to your eyes. And if you reduce the input to your eyes to a certain extent, what you're doing is you're creating a new and different problem that is much rarer, but much worse. And the reason I say that is because the pain in your iris, of your iris constricting, is significantly less than the pain of broken ribs, broken legs, broken bones, and just general falls and the recovery from a fall. Your iris is much less painful than that. And I say that on behalf of the majority of humans, though I'm sure there's some exceptions somewhere. So let's say that you get a pair of really dark sunglasses that lets the iris pain go away, and now you walk outside and you miss a step that you otherwise would have seen. Falling down the step, you crack your head, you crack your hip, you crack your leg, and you're in the hospital for 2 weeks. Was it worth it? Probably not. This is the other side of light sensitivity, which is contrast. And contrast has a potentially severe effect on low vision, visual impairment, and just general aging, where you have a trouble differentiating surfaces from one another. And you may, under those circumstances where you have trouble differentiating those surfaces, you may be more prone to trip over them or have them injure you. So that brings us to contrast, which is a somewhat controversial topic. And the reason it's controversial is because we oftentimes focus so much on light sensitivity that we ignore contrast. So we're potentially overcorrecting the light sensitivity and creating a contrast problem. And that is a big, 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 big no-no. You don't want to do that because it's the matter of pain in the iris versus pain of broken bones. So when we are addressing contrasts and the creation of contrast enhancement is going to be very conditional. So when I say conditional is that if, say you have blue text on a white background, if you were to put, say, a yellow filter over that, you would create contrast where the blue plus the yellow makes it pop off of the background. That's contrast. Now, but basically, if you look at the creation of contrast, you would need to look at the color wheel and look at, hey, what thing do we want to differentiate from the other thing? And the color, and from that scene, the color that you would select is obvious. But when we're picking colors for contrast in general, we can't be that discriminating as, hey, I have blue text and I have white background and I want the blue text to pop more, so let me pick yellow, which is opposing it on the color wheel. You want to look at a scene in general and say, hey, what can I do to improve the contrast in this scene? Now, if you are in the desert, you're going to have different colors that you may prefer than, say, if you're in the forest, because the primary colors are significantly different. So when we're talking about enhancing contrast, it's very much conditional, and there's not going to be a one-size-fits-all approach. There might be a comfort approach that you find that you feel the best with, but that's not what's creating the contrast. And it's important to differentiate the light sensitivity, the management of light sensitivity, and the effect of contrast enhancement.